Your mind speaks to you before you even open your eyes, and most mornings you let it have the first word. Before your feet touch the floor, before you have prayed a single sentence, a voice is already running, reminding you what you are behind on, what went wrong yesterday, what could go wrong today. And because that voice arrives first, you mistake it for truth. It is not truth. It is just the loudest voice in an empty room before anyone else has spoken. Today, I am going to give you 5 verses to speak out loud before your own mind gets the chance to speak first. Not after the anxiety sets in, not as damage control, before. And once you start speaking these first, you will notice something. The loudest voice in the room is no longer yours. Verse 1, Psalm 118:24. You already know this verse. You have probably said it casually 100 times without ever letting it actually land. A fresh read. This is not a cheerful Instagram caption. It is a daily act of resistance against your own mind's default setting. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24. Notice it does not say, "This is the day that feels manageable," or "This is the day with nothing stressful on the calendar." It says rejoice, present tense, before the day has proven itself one way or the other. Your phone will show you your schedule before you have prayed a single word about it. This verse asks you to speak before the calendar gets to. Rejoicing here is not a feeling you wait to arrive. It is a decision you make before evidence shows up either way. Joy spoken before proof arrives is not denial. It is authority. Say this verse out loud tomorrow before you check a single notification. Verse 2, Psalm 23:1. Everyone knows this verse. Almost no one applies it the way it was actually meant. Before the day begins, a fresh read, most people treat this as a comfort verse for hard seasons. But spoken first thing in the morning, it is an identity correction, not a comfort blanket. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Psalm 23:1. Before you have even checked your bank account, your inbox, or your to-do list, your mind is already drafting a list of what is missing. This verse interrupts that draft before it finishes writing itself. It does not say you will lack nothing eventually. It says you lack nothing right now, under this shepherd, before the day proves anything either way. Lack is your mind's first language every morning. This verse was designed to be spoken before lack gets to define your day. A sheep led by a good shepherd does not start the day counting what's missing. Speak this before you open your banking app or your group chat tomorrow. Verse 3, Isaiah 41:10. This verse gets quoted often, but rarely positioned where it actually does its best work, at the very start of the day, before fear gets to introduce itself first. A fresh read, this is not a verse for the moment fear arrives. It is a verse for the moment before fear has even had the chance to speak. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Isaiah 41:10. Your mind's first move every morning is often a quiet scan for threats. What could go wrong today? Who might disappoint you? What deadline is closing in? This verse gets there first instead, naming his presence before your mind finishes naming the threats. Fear does not need an invitation to speak first. It will, every single time, unless something faster gets there before it. Whoever names the day first decides what the day actually feels like. Speak this out loud before your mind finishes its first scan for threats tomorrow. Before the last two, and these two hit the hardest, comment right now and tell me what time you usually wake up. Just the time. I want to see exactly when all of us are having this same battle every single morning. Verse 4, Lamentations 3:22-23. This verse is usually saved for the hardest seasons of life, but spoken first thing in the morning, on an ordinary day, it does something different entirely. A fresh read, this is not just a verse for grief. It is a daily reset button, meant to be pressed before yesterday's failures get to follow you into today. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Lamentations 3:22-23. Your mind loves to open the day with yesterday's tab still open. The argument you had, the mistake you made, the thing you said too sharply. This verse closes that tab before your mind gets to reopen it, declaring that today is genuinely new, not yesterday wearing a different outfit. Mercy does not carry yesterday's balance forward. Your mind often does, unless you speak this before it has the chance to. Mercy renews daily. Your mind just forgets to check for the update. Speak this before your mind reopens yesterday's failures tomorrow morning. Verse 5. 2 Corinthians 10:5. This is the only verse on this list that is not a comfort verse at all. It is a command, and it is the one verse that explains why all 4 before it actually work. A fresh read, this is not poetic encouragement. It is a direct order about who gets to speak first in your mind, every single day, starting today. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Most people wait for an anxious thought to fully form, spiral, and exhaust them before they ever think to challenge it. This verse describes something earlier and more active, taking the thought captive before it has the chance to run the show, the same way you would stop an intruder at the door instead of waiting for them to make it to the kitchen. Thoughts do not get permission to lead just because they arrive first. You were given authority over which ones get to speak. First thought to arrive does not automatically earn the right to lead. The next anxious thought that shows up tomorrow, stop it at the door before it gets to the kitchen. I want to say something important before we close. This is not about pretending hard things are not hard or forcing fake positivity over real pain. Some mornings will still be heavy, and that is allowed. This is not about silencing every honest emotion you carry. It is about making sure truth gets to speak first, even on the mornings when your feelings have every right to be loud too. Let's be honest about what we just covered. Psalm 118:24 speaks joy before proof arrives. Psalm 23:1 speaks abundance before lack gets to draft its list. Isaiah 41:10 names his presence before fear names the threats. Lamentations 3:22-23 closes yesterday's tab before it reopens. 2 Corinthians 10:5 takes every thought captive before it leads. God did not give you these verses so you could recite them and move on. He gave them to you so that tomorrow morning, before your own mind gets its usual head start, His voice gets there first instead. You have spent years letting your mind set the tone for every single day. That ends the moment you decide whose voice actually gets to go first. Right now, type this in the comments. Say it out loud as you type it. Type this in the comments. Tomorrow, God's voice speaks before my mind does. Your 24-hour challenge. Tomorrow morning, before your feet touch the floor, speak Psalm 118:24 out loud. Let it be the very first sentence of your entire day. Share this with someone whose mornings always start anxious before anything has even gone wrong. They might just need to know whose voice is allowed to speak first. Subscribe to Faith After Pain, because every week we go deeper into the small declarations that shape an unshakable faith.